The knockoff dark side toy videos are some of the most popular videos on my channel. Here's an insight into my dark side dilemma, and you will see what I've purchased at one outing in one marketplace, buying dark side toys in the city where I live, which is Sydney, Australia. What's tricky for me is sometimes these dark side toys seem legitimate, so I need the audience's help in identifying what's real and what's fake. Yes, I have a new blender. Yes, I have an old Dyson, and yes, I need heaps more space to store the masses of knockoff toys that I'm accumulating. Let's do it. Well, hello! All the things you see on screen were purchased at one bout of dark side shopping that I did in town. I'm not going to identify the place I went to, but there might be some items here which are legit, and I'm going to show you them, and I'm going to ask your help to see what you think. And another important bit of info here is the shops that I purchased all this stuff at basically don't generate receipts. Welcome to the dark side. Well, this here's a new toy that I've come across. I'll look at it in detail in a Thomas Dark Side video. It's a bubble blower. I think it was $10. Yes, it was $10. It's actually a fairly good price for what it looks like. But I tell you what, the face on that one is going to freak you out when we get to it. It's interesting. These sorts of sets here are a dime a dozen. I like them. I think there's actually new packaging because I like the packaging sometimes more than what's inside. There's another one there as well. And I've actually gone through quite a few of those sets. But what is interesting, they're $5 each. But you can go and buy a generic one, which isn't Thomas themed. That's $3. So you can sort of see the Thomas tax even gets applied to the dark side. Do you like foam stickers, guys? Look how freaky these are. Hey, is that Boko? Is that a pink version of Boko? $2 for those packs there. But here's one I need your help on. This is a very, very strange find. Okay, what this one is, it's basically a giant pen. It's actually very large. I'm going up, there's a button here. There's a Thomas, and it's actually got a fan. And the fan can take batteries and it will spin around. It cost $5. And it's got a bit of information on the back, which is very curious indeed. There's sort of how it works. It's got some colours there on the thing. Let's take a look down the bottom here. Well, there it's telling me 2011 Ghislaine Thomas Limited, blah, 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 China. I don't know, to me, I think it's dark side. And I say that because when I read up here, it just doesn't read out as if it's a licensed product. So what do you reckon? It's funny, where I bought it and the price, I say it's dark side, but you know what? You can read that at the bottom there. I'm thinking, well, maybe it's licensed. I'd hate to make the grand mistake and present something which is licensed on a dark side video. That's why I'm showing it to you guys. What do you think of that one? Is it dark side or is that legit? You can tell me, because I can't tell. Okay, there's a whole bunch of little buttons there. They were $6 for $1. They also actually just threw in a green Cookie Monster, another one's to make 6, so I could get it for $1. Of course, then there's a Cars one in there as well. Then there's these guys here, and this is a strange one indeed. Sorry for the rough and ready video, but I need answers on these. I think this is legit because these are some unusual characters. There's Charlie. Who are those guys from Misty Island, aren't they? Whiff, is that here? Interesting, there's a sort of Union Jack doodah there. Who's that one there? Is that Victor? So if I'm seeing characters like that, or characters which are, you know, fairly uncommon ones, I'm sort of thinking that won't be dark side because the dark side doesn't like to tread too far away from the hyper popular Thomas the Tank. Let me throw in a take and play Thomas there, and you can start to see the scale of these guys. They're sort of cute, but they don't feel that robust. They sort of feel like, well, they're like something that you might find in a surprise egg maybe. There's underneath, and there is a little bit of detail on the back here. Let's take a closer look at that. It's telling me 2011 Ghislaine Thomas Limited, but I have not seen these before. Maybe you guys know all about them. I forgot to say these are $2 a character or a piece of train, and they do couple together. Look at Whiff go. Choo choo. This card here is from a plush. I haven't got it down on the table. My daughter's got it inside. And it's funny, now I look at these cards now and, well, just the feel of it. And I've just sort of by reading the Pokemon plush is one of the all-time great knockoff arenas. Maybe I'm trying to put it together a Pokemon Dark Side. Here's a Rusty here. This is actually, I shouldn't say it, this is actually quite nice. It's very heavy. It's die cast. You can see I paid $8 for it. It makes all sorts of sounds. It's got LED light. I'll look at that properly in another video. And it's never going to be quiet now. And I've got one of these guys here. That was $10. Lightning McQueen. It's funny, Lightning McQueen seems to be a little bit more expensive. I dare say he's like the king of the popularity of toys. He's got some tyres over his eyes. This thing's not going to stop. Let me just stop the camera and wait till it finishes. Oh, I got this really weird Lightning McQueen bump and go action toy. I mean, look at that. How could you not ignore that? $10, and it's really roughly made. I've just noticed with the Cars stuff, or the knockoff car stuff, it's some of the worst that you'll come across. I mean, there's a big piece of plastic there, but I'll take a close look at that when I do another Cars Dark Side video. Well, there was a Minion bubble blower thing and a Smurf one. It's funny what you find. I think they got oinkers inside. Whatever they are, those noisy oinkers, aren't they? What was really weird to find was some Wally stuff. I had not seen that before in this place that I go to. $2. It's interesting about, you know, the fact that it's $2. It's sort of, it's like a, well, I shouldn't say this, it's like a story which is off the boil. In a sense, it's a bit of an older film now. Not saying it's a bad film, it's a classic film, but it's not characters that children would really relate to right at the moment. And that'll be spoken about a little bit further on in this video. Got some Transformers. I've actually got a ton of Transformers stuff, or knockoff Transformers stuff. And I'm going to do a dedicated Dark Side Transformers video. I've got a lot of Toy Story stuff here. What's his name? Buckshot? This is weird. It was funny. I was told it was $12. I was told it was a quality toy. It's got really flexible plastic. We'll find out when we get around to look at that. A bit of Astro Boy stuff, $5. And it always, like, you know, the face just doesn't look right. It's got the, like that, the American film they did not that long back. The artwork on this. And also picked up some of these little keychain Astro Boys. They're just the wrong proportions. It's too long. He's too skinny. It's funny, the Dark Side just doesn't get it sometimes, but I don't know. I've got a bit of a thing for Astro Boy because it's something that I grew up with. And I should also note, at that same shop, which I actually, there's a bit of that stuff and a bit of the Pokemon stuff that I got, they threw in that for free. So you get these little freebies. How lovely is that? Astro Boy little purse. Or should it be for Astro Girl? I'm not sure. Hiding up the back there, there's a bit of Monsters Inc. stuff. It's funny, that's going off the boil now. Like, the real toys of all that is getting dumped in the shops because it's a bit of an older film, or should I say it's like last year's thing. Angry Bird money box with a nice angry look to it. Yeah, that was $10, I think. What was that? I think that was $5, or yeah, it was $5. I'll put the prices on underneath. Minecraft stuff. Just let me grab a breath. Nearly had a heart attack. I'll be back in a sec. Okay, I'm back. All this stuff is knockoff stuff. I've got a ton of knockoff Minecraft stuff. I've put the prices there on it. I've actually tried to get legit stuff as well, which, yeah, you pay good money for, but it's good stuff. And what we'll do is we'll take a look at the knockoff stuff versus the legit. I can actually do an Enderman there, the knockoff Endermans. And if I reach across very quickly, I can bring in a real Enderman very quickly. But we'll do a proper comparison to that. I mean, there is no comparison in a sense. The camera's not going to like looking all that black. But I mean, it's a joke, and it's funny, these were only $5 because they said, oh, they don't sell. Well, no wonder. I mean, what is that? It just doesn't look right, does it? It doesn't even look like, to me, it doesn't look like an Enderman. It looks like a black creeper. In fact, that's the funny thing is the lady goes, oh, I've got black creepers. Yeah, right. It was just creepy seeing it. There were all these are all knockoffs. I've got a funny feeling you can buy legit versions of these, whether they are little bands you put around your wrist. What were they? 3 for $5. So I got 2 lots there. There's this weird cap. It looks giant. I mean, if I put that on my daughter, I mean, she could probably wear that as a shirt. It's just massive. I mean, look at the head size on that thing. It'd probably be even too big for my buffy head. And there was a sword. Actually, the reason why this video is done is because of these guys. We'll just get into those in a sec. There was a sword. It's a knockoff foam sword. Now, the thing about this is very interesting. It was only $10. That's a lot less than the real McCoy one. I've actually got a real McCoy one. Now, the funny thing here is, if I put the real McCoy one next to this knockoff, you've got to really scrutinize this very closely to see the differences. And we'll take a look at that in the Minecraft knockoff videos, and they will be hopefully very interesting. Minecraft is getting done over big time, and the reason is because it is hyper popular. Well, the real reason for this video, where I wanted to show you all the things I got at one outing in a sense, was these guys here. It's funny, the South Park guys have all of a sudden appeared in these knockoff stores. But is this knockoff? I paid, this price is up there, $20. You can see that. Let me spin it around. All I know is Kenny. I think that's Kenny. I hope I'm right. It says Series 1 Limited Edition Collector's Box Set. Straight away I'm thinking, oh, you know, the box looks a bit knocked around. I could put it this way, it doesn't look fresh. It looks like it's been in storage or something. Around on the back here, because I'm not familiar with South Park stuff, that's what it looks like on the back here. I mean, this could be legit. It could be just old stuff. although I haven't had a proper read of that. I can see some foreign languages there going along. You may know this stuff for me. But why I think I'm seeing this in the knockoff markets, and I think this is the reason why, and let me just poke it up here, it's because of that game there. I think that's a very popular game at the moment, and the fact that it's popular, the markets are taking advantage of that, and there's just South Park, toys appearing everywhere. That's my thought on that. What's your thoughts, guys? I'll do an unboxing of this one because I want you to have a close look at this, and I think I've seen enough tricks in the dark side that it's almost impossible sometimes to tell when something's a knockoff and when it's real. I suppose what's interesting here, the box has got South Park and everything. I mean, to me it looks legit. I don't know, but I remember it's something I know nothing about. Let me pull these little guys out and see what we have. It's going to be a fight all the way. Next time you see these, I'll be out of their thing. Well, I don't want to spend too much time looking at these. This figure doesn't feel like it's got much weight in it. There's underneath. What do you reckon? Is that legit? Seems like it's sort of weird the way it's been finished off. I'm not familiar with this South Park stuff at all. Here's another guy. Oh, I don't know their names, I'm sorry. I'm just not into South Park. I was never old enough to watch this show. There's another one. It's been around for some time. The way I sort of think of South Park. But you know what? I can't tell anymore if stuff's real or not, because since looking into those plush toys and hearing the story from that company down in Victoria, which deals with licensed plush toys, man, you could be up against anything. What's getting pumped out of China. This is Kenny. Isn't he the guy that always dies? Oh God, I hope I'm right here. I'm just going to get crucified by you guys. What do you reckon? Is that legit? $20? Was it good value? Or was it for 5 figures? I can't hold all 5 up. You tell me. What do you reckon, guys? Well, my daughter's just come down to the garage with the Pokemon that we purchased today at the place where we can't say, in town. Had a fun day in town. I always take my children when I go dark side shopping. They enjoy it. Enjoy going to the shops. This is what we purchased. I'm pretty sure, considering where I purchased it from and how much I bought it for, which I think it was $8. Thank you. That it's a knockoff, and that's the card that came with that one. There it is there. I mean, you may be able to voice your opinion on this. That's what it's all about. You need to help me here because I'm not that familiar with the Pokemon, although I did read on the websites that these guys have huge problems with in the knockoff realm, and there are some people on that online site which trades stuff who are chronic at selling this stuff as knockoff. But is it knockoff? I mean, sometimes I say, well, you can just tell by the way it's finished, the sort of material, the style, but I'm not familiar with Pokemon, so I can't really tell. What's your thoughts on this one?
It's good.
It's good?
Yes, it's good. I know it.
Okay, do you think it's a legit or do you think it's a knockoff?
I don't know. It's a knockoff.
Okay. How do you know? How do you know?
I know it's a knockoff.
Yeah, it's interesting, but sometimes it's really hard to tell. I'm just going for the fact that the store was loaded with other plush knockoffs. Did they? Do you remember, was that from the same shop as that? Do you recall?
Yeah.
It was?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so hard.
There's some at this other shop, and I think they're real, so we can reverse them with these ones.
Yeah, well, how can you tell real from knockoff when the place, you just can't tell? That's the problem.
I know, because I've seen reviews of them, and the heads can move, and these ones can't.
Oh, okay.
So if we find them, can we take a look?
Maybe. You want the stick of truth characters, don't you?
Yeah. Let me see.
Okay. Well, that's that one there. I'll just end up on that one, but I am trying to put together a dark side Pokemon one, and it's tricky because I need to really understand these guys, and looking at the tags means nothing, even though it says that. It doesn't mean a thing half the time, and that's scary. Anyway. Okay. Yeah, just recently my daughter looked at some Minecraft toys, and my children, both my daughter and my son, and what's interesting about Minecraft is, these are the toys they looked at. They're called the Minecraft hangers. I'm going to come in and just have a bit of a word about these toys, and just a few things that my daughter didn't pick up on them. Sadly, well, you can see what happened there. But there's a few little things that if they change those a little tiny bit, they'd be epic. Interesting thing about Minecraft is there is some fantastic stuff with Minecraft. Some of the books are fantastic. Some of the toys are amazing. Even the Jazzwares toys they do are great. I mean, the funny thing is that I thought I'd never say this, I think my pick is for these toys is to get the Jazzwares ones, which look like that. I think you're getting a really good toy if you're into Minecraft when you buy those ones, versus, you know, sort of like buy cheap, buy twice if you're buying those ones. But I'm going to do a dedicated video related to that. And let me show you something else. Well, let me show you a little dilemma I have growing down in my garage. Well, basically my garage has been overtaken by knockoff toys. I can't produce the videos fast enough versus buying this stuff. These two boxes here are basically mainly Disney Cars stuff, but there's a bit of plain stuff in there as well. I'm doing the plain stuff because, well, I'm noticing just so much of it in the shops. I also do try and buy the legitimate stuff because I like to make comparisons of the legitimate toy versus the knockoff, because quite often you'll find the legitimate toy is trying to emulate the real toy in all sorts of nasty ways. That's the car stuff down here, and this is a very, very complex video, and I'm sorry for taking so long to sort it out. All this here is the knockoff Lego stuff, and I mean, this is a very, very deep knockoff and very nasty side to the dark side videos when I get around to doing it. It's quite a curious one. There's tons of it in the shops. There's some really weird stuff. I mean, these giant Ninjago figures. You know, the knockoff realm loves to pick off popular stuff. It's funny that Ninjago has come back. I think when people start to see this stuff, they're going to be shocked. I can sort of tell the problem with some of this stuff. It's just sometimes when you pick it up, oh, well, you know, I know there's going to be some differences in there versus the real Ninjago stuff. But what is the real shock is there's these bunch of really, really good quality minifigures appearing, and they're super cheap compared to, let's say, the legitimate ones you'd find with Lego, which are quite often bound up with Lego sets. So you've got to buy the whole set just to get a minifigure. But the Lego Dark Side one is going to be a shock and horror ordeal indeed. In the Thomas realm, you know, what I'm finding now is they're putting moustaches on Thomas's. That must be some sort of copyright thing. They're slightly changing the box artwork. I'll rebuy sets when the box artwork has changed. I'm assuming the little Thomas in there has also got a moustache. It's very, very funny to see the moustaches coming under the sets. Let me just go to some of these here. It just goes on and on. Hey, look at that. There's a Chugger's cap. That's a knockoff. I'm starting to see some Chuggington stuff appear, and if I see the Chuggington stuff, I dive on it because it's very hard to find the knockoff Chuggington stuff. And there's a Thomas cap there as well. That's a knockoff. And that box just goes on and on and on. All sorts of weird and wonderful things. Sets that I've had before, but they are in a different format. And I'll always go in, and if I see something which is interesting, that's the knockoff of the Lego train. It's actually, I shouldn't say, it's actually a half decent set. I bought another one of those, I don't know why. This is another weird one. There's a couple of sets I've got of these. It's like a Lego-ish, Mega Block-ish thing. I don't know how good or bad that is. I mean, look, it just goes on and on, guys. It is just scary. I mean, if you're worried about me not having enough knockoff stuff to look at, don't worry, it just keeps appearing, and that box just keeps going down and down and down and down. Look at that little drum, rat-a-tat-tat. There's all sorts of stuff. And there's these, look, I'll talk about those socks there. I bought them from a major retailer in Sydney, a major one. I've got a sneaky suspicion that they're knockoffs, I think. But we've got to look at those and work that out. I mean, it's just endless. Just endless. It's really, really scary. And yes, don't you worry. Don't you worry. I will be covering that one in a very special video. That is, I don't know, when you see that one for real, it'll, well, it's scary. That's the best way of saying it. But the Thomas stuff, I've got heaps of it. So, okay, all that there was knockoff. I got the knockoff I just purchased today on the table. There's the Thomas knockoff. If I reel back, going back further, all these boxes are full of knockoff toys. Every one of them are probably going to be daylight now. The colour balance is probably going shy. All that there is a wall of knockoff stuff. Let me show you what's in there. Okay, these first two boxes are all Angry Birds. There's some actually real McCoy stuff in here because I like to make comparisons of the real stuff versus the knockoff. These are air fresheners that I found for $1. They're real. That's real licensed stuff. But there's a whole lot of weird stuff in there that we're going to have a look at. And it just goes on and on and on. And I actually found another version of that weird Star Wars one. Let me just crank it up so you can get a teaser. Another one of those. It's a different version. Somewhere on that will be marked. There's another helicopter, a different version of a helicopter. It's a knockoff. Just some weird stuff down in this one here. That's a legit toy, that one. Like I said, I like to look at the legit stuff, make comparisons. That's a legitimate toy. But if I find them for cheaper on special, I tend to buy them. I mean, it just goes on and on. If I bury it in there, you'll see all sorts of weird Angry Bird stuff, but that's a lot of knockoff Angry Bird stuff to look at. Let's take a look at some more boxes. Okay, this is the first one I call the mixed stuff. There's Despicable Me stuff in here, there's Mario stuff in here. Like, there's some really weird stuff. Like, when I go to one shop, I like to keep it all in one bag, and you start to see what gets pulled from one shop. Like those fake Marios. I mean, they're everywhere in the shops where I go to. And the other, oh man, you want to talk about what's common and seeing in the knockoff realm, are those Pokemon cards. And it's, I mean, you look at those and you look at that versus the real one, it's just a mind bender. It's weird. I find things like this. It's weird that the eyes were taped up. I don't know, this Cookie Monster, what do you reckon? Is that real or knockoff? Sometimes you just cannot tell. It almost seems too good to be true. And that always worries me. It was only $10. So straight away I'm thinking, well, $10 for that. What's going on here? You know, how can you tell? I just don't trust those tags anymore after speaking to that company down in Victoria which deals with plushes. I mean, look, it just goes on and on. I could mine into here. You're going to see, yeah, it's just amazing what you find. $4 for that. Bit of a story behind that packet there and why it was only $4. That there might be some legit stuff mixed up in here as well. Yeah, Knockoff Talking Tom, it just goes on and on. Oh, these Doras. There's a story. This is another one I've got to ask a question about. These are at the marketplace where I bought all the ones on the table, which we saw earlier on. I think this is legit. And what was really weird was they were only, what were they, $5 each. Like I said, I always mark the back of the packs. I think there was 3 of them or 4. I don't know. What do you reckon? Is that legit? There's the Dora thing up there. You need to look at this for a second. It says Nickelodeon down the bottom there. Quite often on the back is the telltale things. Sometimes people pick stuff up at markets, like auctions where businesses have gone out bust, and then they'll pick this stuff up for nothing and they end up in the dark markets being sold alongside basically knockoff toys. I mean, look, it just goes on and on, guys. It's really scary. It is just really scary. And the sad part is there's another Dora. The very sad part is that a lot of these, that's a real legit toy, because that's one I bought at Coles. Because I like to make comparisons. Yeah, $10 at the reject shop, sorry. $10 at the reject shop. My argument is you can buy the legit toy, but sometimes cheaper than the knockoff. And this is the part that fries people's brains when you think, well, why would you bother buying a knockoff when you can buy the legit toy? You know, if you shop around properly. SpongeBob's, I mean, it's just full on. I tell you, one of them just goes on and on and on. Look at that Toy Story range there. How cheap and nasty is that? How much did I pay for that one? $15. $15 for that. I mean, give me a break. Scooby. I found a Scooby. Remember the one I did? Scooby Doo was a shaggy one. I found a variant of that. Just look, it just goes on, guys. There's a real. I think that's real. You got to tell me. It's Australia Dora. Did you know that there was a Dora the Explorer Australia version? Well, there you go. Oof, let's hope it's real. Yeah. Hello Kitty. What's this? A Ben 10 truck. Oh man. You know, I do love shopping for this stuff. I really do enjoy going out and buying this stuff. It's much better going out for real buying this stuff, because you know, online's boring, guys. I'm sorry to say. Look at that one there. Wait till we do the Transformers Dark Side. It's going to blow your mind. Look at that. How about, is that upside down? Looks like they've been packed upside down, doesn't it? How weird is that? This is the first time I've noticed that. I've got the box the right way up, but the critters inside, I'm pretty sure they're upside down. That's their feet at the top there. How much is that? $39? What? I must have been mad buying that. It just goes on and on and on. There's a giant Smurfs village down there as well. Hey, but there's more boxes. Let's look at either that one or that one next. Oh, take a look at this tub here. It looks like a Spider-Man on a bike. Some weird Mario Brothers, blah blah, some more Despicable Me. That's a real Sinister one because it's made for a little baby. Yeah, a lot of Despicable Me stuff was appearing, all because the film was out not that long back. One down there, is that a Ben 10? The Ben 10 thing down there. Furbies, or Phobies, whatever you want to call them. It's interesting there. I got a few because I'm going to do a meanie on that one. And I found some more. If I go over here, here's a wall of fake Furbies here. And what was really interesting was I think they ended up being 2 for $55. There's a receipt there. And then they became 2 for $30. And I think they even went lower again. Knockoff Furbies were everywhere. And I've got quite a few of them, as you can see. Let's take a look at that box next. Okay, well, here's the next box. I don't know, some napkins that were sort of thrown in. I bought something at one of these places and they threw in these napkins, which are American $100 bills. Obviously fake, SpongeBob bag. I've got a lot of Transformer stuff. The Transformers Dark Side's going to be quite interesting. A bit of a knockoff Nerf gun, whatever you want to call them. It's just amazing what you see getting knocked off. I mean, knockoff... Is that real or knockoff Beyblades? I can't tell anymore. Maybe I'm getting mad. I own this knockoff. I can just tell straight away. I look at the back there and the price. Yeah. Transformers.
Robots in the skies.
There's a secret how I did that. I can't tell you how I did it. There's more Transformers stuff down there. There's some really big Transformer sets. What's this one? Something weird. Oh yeah, look, if I see something weird, I buy it. It's a shark helicopter. Yeah. Obviously you think, oh, this is a weird one. This is one I'll need help on as well, because I don't know much about it. Bionicle of War. And these are just your classic low-end knockoff, if ever you've seen it. I mean, this is going to be straight into the blender sort of stuff, I'm sure. Or whatever. People saying, oh, why don't you burn them, Leo? Well, I don't want to burn stuff because you'll end up with people flagging your videos. You know, what's this one here? More Transformer stuff. Some sort of remote control, you know, thing. How much did that cost me? Have I written on it? I think from memory, I think it was $15. Let's take a look at that box there. In a funny way, this might have sent us around full circle, because I think this is the other knockoff Minecraft stuff. It's quite interesting, this, and there's a really Sinister store there of shoes and a pillow. There's a store in Sydney which passes off the knockoff stuff for real. I've got some real packaging here because I like to keep the real packaging from those sets there, because we need to look at that when we look at the knockoff stuff. Obviously there's creepers in there. Oh, there's a bit of Adventure Time stuff as well. Probably got a bit of real and knockoff, because there's probably enough to do an Adventure Time crossover. Whole bunch of creepers. There's watches down there. Yeah, it's a bit of needs a bit more filling in there. There's a couple more of those drinky poo things down there. What's that? I think that's a knockoff. That's the knockoff, that guy. Yeah. Yeah, the Minecraft knockoff one's going to be quite interesting indeed. And you're probably saying, where's the Dark Side pony stuff? It's here, it's here. I've got it hidden away in the bowels of my garage, but I certainly have to get round to doing the Dark Side pony stuff. I've purchased another blender because the Aldi one got shattered about 2 blends. It was gone. This was 7 times more expensive than the Aldi blender. I'm not going to tell you how much I paid for it. It was that expensive. They actually threw in one of those on top of it as well. But if I went to buy a BlendTech blender, I think I'd be up for like 7 times again. So it'd be like 14 times more expensive than the Aldi blender. If that one smashes, the next one I will buy is a BlendTech blender. I'm hoping Mr. BlendTech will give me one. Please, Mr. BlendTech, I can't afford your top range stuff. Speaking of top range stuff, look what I picked up off the side of the road. Guess what that is? That's one of the early Dysons, the DC01, and it's a bit of a special one. And guess what? It still works. My saying is, you rarely ever see a Dyson on the side of the road. Well, I found that one, and we might play with that. I actually tried to contact another YouTuber. I was going to go and give it to him, but he's not speaking back to me. Maybe he doesn't want it. This thing is heavy. It costs a lot to send in the post. But what is interesting here is, when we look at the design of this machine, and how it had quite a number of firsts versus machines of its time. Well, I hope that gives you a bit of an insight into the the mess that I've got at the moment. Remember, we started on that table there, looking at what I purchased today into the markets. I've got so much stuff here, which is all the knockoff stuff. It is just quite mind-blowing, and it's almost like it's too much. You think to yourself, how will I get through all this? I don't put multiple ads on my videos, as you know. I only ever set one ad at the front. I'm not an ad whore like some other people on YouTube. But please give me time, because you can see I've got a lot of stuff, and it's just going to take time to get through it all. Probably the colour bounces out now because I come over here. Look, it just goes on and on and on. And, I don't even want to show you where the legitimate toys are. I've got so many of those as well. I dare say I'm never ever going to get around to doing them. Anyway, that's it for this video. I think I've covered everything, and this certainly was a great discovery indeed. Thanks for watching, and as always, bye for now. But wait, there's one more thing. I forgot to show this box here. This came to me via the charity shop, and it's another one of those someone's whole toy collection. This is a great box, and I'm going to try and cover this box in one whole. There's some really, really interesting stuff in here. It looks like there's a whole Thomas set in here. I'm hoping. I've got to go through this and sort it out. There's a bit of Chuggington stuff. There's a bit of Meccano. That there, I think that's Meccano. I mean, look at this. There's a Thomas there. Funny, they always come with batteries in them. He's looking pretty good. Is that a Tony one? No, it's a Hit, and it's one of the Hit ones. So it's one of the early Trackmaster ones. So I can see Hit Toy Company there. I'm starting to understand the eras of these now. There's a Percy there, and there's a bag, just a really great bag of... Look at this weird one. I mean, look at that. What does that do? Oh man, my Thomas collection is just becoming that awesome. It's not funny. What is that? I mean, this is, I shouldn't show you too much more because then it'll break all the surprises. Oh yeah, is that a real one? That's a Tommy. Okay. Yeah, I think I've already got one of this. That's the copper one, isn't it? I got it from the, oh, it's coal, that one. I've got one which is copper. I think it's the same design. Wow, some weird stuff in here. What's that? That looks like the stuff from Daiso to me. I don't know. I'm hoping there's a whole Trackmaster set in there, and it's one of the early ones because I'm seeing. Look at that one there. I'm getting very distracted, aren't I? I should stop. But that's a whole set of a bit of Chuggington, a bit of Meccano, a bit of Thomas, a bit of something else, and I think that people really enjoy seeing someone's toy box getting dissected and reinvestigated. Okay, this really is the end of the video. As always, everyone, thanks for watching for a second time, and bye for now.